So I think it's just what's it. It doesn't matter.
Will the audience please take their seats? Good evening and welcome to the April meeting of the Lopatcong Township Planning Board. At this time, I would like to invite you to join us in a silent moment of prayer, followed immediately by the oath of allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'm required to state that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times, and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Beth, may I have a roll call, please?
Members Fox. Here. Thompson.
Here.
Chesky.
Here.
Costello. Pryor.
Here.
Wolf. Mayor McKay.
Here.
Vice Chairman Brown.
Here.
Chairman Van Fleet.
Here.
And alternate Fishback.
Here.
And Smith.
Thank you. We'll move on to old business. Has everyone received a copy of the minutes from February 24th, 2016? Are there any corrections, additions, comments?
Just one, Mr. Chair. Beth, on page 5, next to last line, it's my speech. I said will certainly affect the area. I think that should be AFFECT.
Page 5, you said?
Yes. Second line from the bottom, end of the sentence, it will certainly affect.
Affect the area.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I have a correction or any additions as well.
Yes.
And going by memory here, but on page 25, when we're talking about the application and the value versus cost of the apartment complex, the Piazza tract, I believe that I asked our tax assessor to look into her analysis of what this will bring into the town versus the expenses and compare it with the application, and that everybody agreed that that was something that the assessor could and will do. And that seems to kind of disappear at the bottom of page 25, but I believe that we were going to have the assessor look into that. And I don't know the exact wording.
Yeah, I probably couldn't hear it. I should put it in Oracle there. It's
But
the next, it's,
But I know I know everybody agreed that the assessor could look into it, so.
yeah, but if I can't hear it, I can't put it in here. So that it'll stay in Oracle.
Okay, I was pretty sure it was pretty clear.
There's something about the assessor at the end of 25.
Yeah, that's the,
Can I,
But it could
does
be, but
anyone
it-
You
remember
send it
that?
to me, and I can hear, if I listen to it, and then I can hear it. Sometimes people's voices and the way they say things, you know what I mean? It's gonna come across.
Eric, if you don't speak into this microphone, she can't.
I
The recording doesn't get it.
I do understand that, but it's
And
more,
see, you're over there, and the microphone is right in the middle.
I know, it's pretty-
It is a terrible problem.
it is pretty far away, but
Eric, why don't you see?
And
but it wasn't that it could be looked into, it was that it will be looked into. So that's a big difference. So I'd like to correct it from could to will.
Well, like I said, just send it to me what you think you know, hear, and if I can listen to it, change it, I will.
Okay, on the tape.
Okay? Yeah.
Does anyone
Do it, and
remember that conversation? Anybody else here remember the conversation?
No, the only comment I would,
And if I could just remind all of you, one person speaking at a time, that is another problem. When you're talking over each other. And please go first, stop.
the other thing is it was only a presentation. We weren't in a hearing situation with that applicant coming in. There's nothing that, official about it, so.
And you can always send me these ahead of time. You don't have to go to the meeting, and I can listen and say, oh, yeah, you're right. I do hear it now the way you say it. And then I can put it in.
Can we look into it then?
Yeah, just do listen to it because she's speaking, and I'll go back to the tape and re-listen to it if I hear it that way. I'll certainly correct it.
Excellent. How do I listen to it? Is there an MP3 file or?
Well, it's on YouTube, isn't it?
It is on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you just go right into.
It's on the website.
You click
It's
on
on our website. All the recorded.
Yeah, our website, she lists it.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yep.
Any further comments on the minutes? If not, the corrections and comments, will approve the minutes as published with the corrections and the pending correction from Mr. Johnson. Okay? Thank you very much. All right, the next order of business, we have the contracts for professional services. One for the engineer, Paul Sturbins, one for the planner, George Ritter, and one for our attorney, Anthony Spizzaro. We have to have a memorializing resolution on that. Okay. Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve those services.
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Beth, roll call, please.
Member Scott?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Chesky?
Yes.
Pryor?
Yes.
Wolf?
Yes.
Chairman Kay?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Ferrero?
Yes. Yes. Next.
I don't know if it's the right moment, but maybe in regards to the contracts and how, I've never seen, we have our own budget, right?
We have a submitted budget, but the contracts that we extend for our personnel or professionals, it's required by the council to provide funding for them. They offer their fee for services in the contracts that we sign with them. In other words, so much money per hour charge, and we take it from there. But if we have additional duties, we don't budget for that. We're,
I just wonder, and Gary, it may not be the time right now, but I don't, how the budget of the planning board is put together. I have no.
Well, Gary and I usually work on that.
come up and we present it to council. We don't actually vote on our own budget. It goes to council like any of, like the DPW or any other.
And within that budget is the funds for our attorneys, for our engineers?
For the regular meetings, if we have anything additional or we start going over the top, most of our money comes in from
Escrow
the
accounts.
escrow money that they post with the application that they come in with. So, and that varies widely, so.
Thanks.
Okay. Further comment on it? Okay, next order of business is I-78 Logistics Park, General Development Plan, review completeness and a carry notice and discuss recent email correspondence. Paul, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, since the last meeting in February, the applicant submitted a revised general development plan as well as various supplemental reports and addendums to report to address the deficiencies that were outlined in my February letter. And the items that were submitted as part of this resubmission were detailed in my March 18th letter. It was my conclusion after looking at all that material and comparing it to the review letter back in February and also looking at Mr. Burr's notes. He attended the meeting on my behalf back in February that this applicant had addressed the deficiencies. And I had recommended at the conclusion of my March 18th letter that the board should deem the application to be complete. So I'm recommending you do that tonight, and then you can discuss scheduling a public hearing on the general development plan application.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Paul, if I may. I've been away. I just really picked up the materials day before yesterday, but I didn't see a revised traffic report in there.
It was not. But they submitted a traffic report. Again, this is an administrative
Okay.
function. It could be the worst traffic report in the world, and we could have 50 comments on it.
right.
So one was submitted, so I think from an
Okay.
administrative perspective, it's approved. And it does, so number two, it doesn't mean there isn't technical comments on it. You may have a lot of questions when we have the hearing. Number two, it doesn't preclude you from asking for more information if need be to clarify an issue.
Yeah. Well, I get you.
So I think the board should, I'm satisfied the board should deem the application to be complete.
Any other comments from the board or questions, Paul, on the completeness aspect?
I would only add that if the application be deemed complete, that the notice be carried, we made notice previously for the February meeting, and I think they'd like to avoid having to notice again.
Yes, I agreed to that at the last meeting. We were here too, and we'll carry this forward. We have it scheduled for the April meeting for the hearing on it, so we'll carry it forward to that. Any further comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to deem the application complete. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Beth, roll call, please.
Members Fox?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Chesky?
Yes.
Fryer?
Yes.
Wolf?
Yes.
And Kay?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Taking first, we have some.
Carl Kemp on behalf of the applicant, appreciate you hearing us tonight and deeming us complete. And I know this is a bit of a narrow issue, but just, I know you're continuing our notice, but just an affirmation that the notice was proper and complete.
Yes, I agree with this.
Thank you, Mr. Pizarro. Thank you, Chairman.
Well,
Have a good evening.
good holiday.
Yes. I have one other thing that we have received correspondence from Mr. Baumann. I believe that's also a person you have with an attorney. In his correspondence, he indicates that the planning board of Lopatcong Township has refused to hear his application, and that concerns me quite a bit from the aspect of in this, I'm looking for his response. He indicates that, and I quote him here, we received disappointing news today. The planning board is refusing to hear our application for GDP in March. This will be the second meeting they have refused to consider the application. It prompts us to wonder whether the township still intends to attend a 331 meeting. It concerns me in the fact that the planning board did not refuse to hear their application. We heard the application in February. We acted on it. They may not have liked the application, but I want to stand on the record that this board did, in fact, act upon the application. I'm not going to chance the board have legal action taken against them for failing to meet the deadlines in order to review this application. So I want that stated on the record. I'm going to ask Mr. Sposaro to formulate a letter with permission of the board to Mr. Baumann indicating what our feelings are on that.
Where was this letter from?
This was an email sent to the mayor, matter of public record, and all I want to do is clarify the fact that we did act on that application.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
because again, Carl Kemp, we have the applicant. Mr. Baumann is my partner, and I understand your reading of the email and don't disagree with you. I think there was a bit of a misunderstanding with Mr. Baumann. He does not deal with land use as much as I do. I did speak with him subsequently, and he understands that we were here, that we had a discussion with you regarding the completeness issues, that you wanted to make sure the completeness was taken care of before we actually started the hearing itself. So I understand your position and your response to the actual language of the email. That's not what was intended, though. So his understanding is we were coming in that night, we were going to put on the full-blown hearing with charts and witnesses and testimony and the traffic expert, the whole 9 yards. I subsequently spoke with him and advised, we were heard that night. We had to address the completeness issue. We're coming back tonight to resolve that and it being heard in April. So certainly Mr. Sposaro can send a letter. I just wanted you and the board members to know it wasn't, it could be read negatively. That's the worst thing about black and white words versus talking to each other. We don't see body language inflection and saying, oh, by the way, that was not exactly what happened. So again, certainly send the letter, Mr. Sposaro, and again, there was no, disrespect meant to the board, and we do appreciate you deeming us complete tonight, and we will see you in April with everything you're looking for.
I just wanted to clear that written record up because this now exists, and if it does come to some point later on where disagreement arises, it could be a point of contention on the legality of whatever this board takes. So,
Completely understand,
I
Chairman.
appreciate it, sir.
Just wanted to let the board know here from me, so it's not left in black and white. But
Okay.
again, don't want to take up more of your time. I know you have families to go see. You don't want to talk to me any further. So thank you again, board members. We'll see you next month.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a comment on that as well. This is all great, but that report made it to social media. So, you know, there was no discussions happening, like, is this true, is this not true? This made it out to social media. There was an article on this. That's not appropriate, because it wasn't true, and we didn't talk about it ahead of time. So I was a little disappointed to see it, and that was news to me when I read that article. Where's this coming from? You know, the fact that it made it to social media like that was really an inappropriate step. I just want to make that clear in my opinion.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we don't have any control over the social media.
But it was leaked by someone. Somebody
Well,
had to.
it's not a question of a leak, it's a matter of public record. So social media is going to do what they're going to do. Accurately, inaccurately, slanted, objective, it is what it is.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, I don't think it was actually social media. It was only a very live, right?
Yeah,
It was in the newspaper. It
Yeah.
was not, sorry. I don't know, but I think that's what it is.
In any event, I just wanted to correct the record because it has a way of snowballing into something that it
Absolutely.
wasn't, and, you know, fully accept his explanation. I just wanted the record clarified that, you know, we did have to hear it. Thank you very much.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you, Chairman.
Good evening. We'll see you next month.
Good night.
See you later.
Okay, we have, our next order of business is a memorandum about the zoning amendment, discussion between professionals and board members. I defer to Mr. Spizzaro on this and refer to his letter that he has received and was authorized to do from the planning board.
Before discussing the substance of this, since there is pending litigation that concerns property that may be included in the proposed zoning amendment discussion, I feel strongly that we should go into closed session because there is pending litigation to discuss this matter. And if everyone agrees, I would recommend that someone make a motion that we go into closed session, and then we can either go into a separate room or we can clear the room and discuss this matter.
I'll make that motion that we go into closed session.
Do I hear a second?
All in favor?
All right. Opposed? All right, on this matter, I'm sorry, but I'm going to ask the public, I don't know how long it's going to take. We really have
Is it appropriate for the tape to be turned off during the tape?
I'll do that just a minute.
That's good.
we wouldn't want it.
Seems like three people.
We didn't have throngs here. Anyone left?
Yeah, Dawn is there.
Oh,
Marla and Pratt.
Focus didn't want to stick around.
they're waiting in the parking lot.
You know, that'll be the next thing.
All right.
Let me just repeat this so someone can make the motion.
You want to make the motion, Peter? Okay.
My understanding that the board may want to consider having our planner provide us with a written report that details the history of the zoning in the ROM zone, whether it is advisable to amend the ordinance as it relates to the RM zone, whether it's feasible, and if so, to provide us with some concrete recommendations on how the ordinance could be amended. going to ask our planner to have that written report available to us for discussion at next month's meeting.
I just think the first time you said it, Tony, in the order was history, feasibility, advisability, and concrete recommendations.
Yes,
And consistent with the master plan.
yes. And consistency with the master plan. I think that falls under the category of whether it's advisable and whether it's feasible. But
Is the machine back on, by the
I'll ask you
way?
to specifically address that as well.
Yeah, he needs to address the master plan and what needs to happen there, if there is something.
Anyone want to make the motion?
I'll make.
Do I hear a second? Roll call.
Member Spots,
Yes.
Johnson,
I will vote yes, but I will say that I'm a little disappointed. I feel like you've already asked for this.
Again, by Robert's rules, you can vote, you can't editorialize during the vote, please.
Reluctant, yes. How's
Trustee
that?
Yes.
Pryor,
Yes.
Wolf,
Yes.
Chairman Day,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Corral.
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes.
I will communicate with Mr. Ritter tomorrow, and next month should be an interesting meeting.
Thank you, Tony.
I'd like just to indicate, next meeting is probably going to be a lengthy meeting because of the hearing we're going to have with the Opus group and the questions there. If this turns into a lengthy meeting and we're trying to stop at 10 p.m., it would have to be continued over. So is there any objections to that now, or?
Well, do we put this on the agenda first, or, and then listen to Opus?
Well, nah, it would,
In fairness to the applicant, if they're going to show up with half a dozen witnesses, I don't think that's particularly fair. You may want to consider a special meeting,
Yes.
Yes. In 2
because
weeks.
I think it's going to.
Wait a minute, he's got a month to do it. How can you have a special meeting in 2
Well, he
weeks?
could do it in 2 weeks.
Is that what we want to tell him to do?
Or a report like that.
That's not what the motion is.
What?
No, it's not.
The
The
report's already
motion's
done.
passed.
The historical report.
Let me do this. Let me communicate with George, find out how quickly he can put something together. And then I'll communicate with Beth, and through email, we can find out whether we can schedule a public meeting, a special meeting, when the room is available, when our professionals are available with conflicts, and see if we can pull it together. Because I don't see us having time at the next public meeting. I think the Opus application, there's going to be a lot of public interest. There's a lot of interest on this board. It's an important matter for this board, and I don't want to rush through it.
Do we have to,
Can we start at 6:30? Would that be, can we advertise?
do we have to do that formally? Or is that like an informal thing with a special meeting? Do we have to?
very formally, it's got to be noticed.
Right, so we need to know that by tomorrow, Tony, when he can do that.
I will find out. from
And you gotta
George
get to
how
Beth
quickly
so she
he
can
generates
notice.
a report. I'll be in touch with Beth. Beth knows what to do as far as scheduling a special meeting. There's statutory requirements, notice in the newspaper, what have you. But we can get it done.
I'll provide Beth dates that I'm available in April to attend this meeting.
And I'll do the same.
Yeah, we'll get that information to Beth tomorrow.
Does the planning board have to vote to have the special meeting now, authorize it, so that it can happen? So we don't want to go to
We
say,
don't
well, we
even
can't
know.
have it because
We
we
don't
didn't
even know
vote.
when we're going to have it. so-
Well, we can just vote that we're going to have a special
Turn
meeting.
around and the 27th is when, I think the 27th will be the next meeting.
Correct.
So you turn around and say that you have the meeting on the 27th, and any unfinished business will carry over to the 28th if everybody is available.
Works for me.
I don't know.
It's the 28th.
Well, which is the third, the Thursday right after.
Is the building available?
I'm
Do we know
saying,
we're gonna
I'm
notice?
just saying if that everything falls into place. I don't know that. That would be a date that you would.
Well, this board's been
Peter's-
accused before of rushing through these things to have planning
Well,
meetings.
Peter's
So-
question was, we were told,
Does the board have to vote to convene a special meeting? Or can the professionals and the secretary say, we've spoken with everybody, we need a special meeting, here's the date and we've made notice?
I just want to make sure it
Does
happens.
it need to get voted, or can you just decide which date is best?
There is
Call
no,
it-
to my knowledge, there's no legal requirement that the board
I can
vote
call
to
it a special
approve.
meeting,
That's what I thought.
but again, other things come into effect. Will he have the report ready? Is there
Well, you're gonna
information?
wait
Yes.
for Tony to talk to George,
George, they're
to
gonna
find
look,
out when it could get done,
and then when the other
and then
professionals
when all the questions get done.
are
You guys
available,
Pick the best
when the
time.
building is available,
Correct.
you know, and what
So-
time do you wanna have it?
So
Is
the
it
answer is
available
no,
at 7
we
o'clock
don't
at
need to
night or
go.
11 o'clock in the
They
morning?
can decide what is the best date to have.
Oh, it has to be at night.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's not the easiest thing in the world to get to because the public wants to listen to
Yeah,
it.
we have to do it at
And it
night.
has to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the public's not available for it. So I'm
Well, if you
very
do that,
hesitant to
you
start
have
calling, you know,
Regarding,
public meetings.
thinking about the calendar, I recommend, this meeting is the 27th, is the 27th our next meeting?
Yeah.
I throw the number out, I say, let's look into the 20th, 1 week beforehand, see if the room's available, that gives our professionals.
Usually the Board of Adjustment meets then, though.
They need to second.
Second Wednesday.
I think I'm available Thursday the 21st. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
of
wait,
that.
Thursday the
So
20th?
Tony's checking his calendar right now.
It couldn't be the fourth, because the first is council. First Wednesday.
First Wednesday is.
So what is that Thursday? Is it the 20th?
The 21st.
It's the 21st. Let's see if the date works for
I
everybody.
do not
That
have
would
a
make
meeting
sense.
that evening.
So Tony and I are available on the 21st.
That would give the planner 3 weeks.
Very good.
Yeah.
Which is, should be enough.
Tentative 21st, right?
Yep.
Okay, guys.
Is the,
7 o'clock is good.
Beth, do you know if the building is available, meeting room's
Tuesday,
available?
Thursday, generally available.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I will communicate that to George as well. I'll let Beth know. I'll speak with our chairman and we have a plan.
Very good.
All right. Motion to adjourn?
I'll open it up to,
Oh, public comment. What am I saying?
We have public.
Waited all this time, you don't get to say anything.
Oh.
is there any public comment?
Marlandic, 10 Byron Drive. I'm curious, having George Ritter go and do the feasibility and the sustainability and the ability. If this is, my understanding is that the goal or what we want to, that what you guys want to present to council is to consider reverting the ordinance back to the way it was. Is that not correct?
No.
No, it's not.
We really can't do that. We're gonna have to go forward.
Okay.
We have to create an entire new board.
So the new ordinance would basically, is the idea to change the zoning back to the way it was prior?
The idea is to examine
Mm-hmm.
the uses that are permitted in the ROM zone and the standards and the conditions that need to be met, and to get a recommendation on whether it is feasible, whether it's advisable, and if so, is it consistent with the master plan? And then, provided all those things are yes, how can we do it?
Okay, thank you.
Well,
So my time is up.
Thank you, Mama.
I don't think there's any more
Other
public
questions?
comments.
Okay, any from the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?